Nice. All right. Good afternoon. I now call to order the special town board meeting for the town of Arundecoit, March 30th, 2021. Visitors are invited to join board members in rising to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here.
Here.
Councilwoman Romeo.
Here.
Councilman Layton.
Present.
Supervisor Seal.
I am here. Thank you, Madam Clerk, and it's good to have everyone back in the Broderick meeting room after a hiatus. This will be a relatively brief meeting, but it's nice because we can work the kinks out before we get back to showtime next month. So thanks to the board members for availing yourself. We have 3 items for board action today. Among them, the adoption of our police reinvention and reform plan, which was developed pursuant to Executive Order 203. We do not have public input today for today's meeting. And with that, I will ask Madam Clerk to call up the first item for board action.
Item number 1. Calling for a public hearing on a proposed amendment to Code Chapter 91 to bar overnight mooring and anchoring of vessels at Arundecoit Bay State Marine Park dock.
Before that, and I will ask for a motion to adopt this resolution, but I'm going to ask for a motion to introduce draft legislation to amend Town Code Chapter 91 to bar overnight mooring and anchoring of vessels at Arundecoit Bay Marine Docks. This draft legislation was in your packets as Exhibit A to the resolution, which we will take up next. So I have a motion to introduce that bill.
Move.
In a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The proposed legislation is now introduced. Thank you for that. With that, I will ask for a motion to adopt an item for board action number 1.
Moved.
In a second.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Kiley, an explanation, please.
Thank you, Supervisor Sealing. The legislation before the board would allow a no vessel to moor at the future Arundecoit Bay State Marine Park from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. During those times, the park is closed. As this board and the general public knows, we are nearing the completion of a resiliency and economic development initiative project at the boat launch, which will see a large transient dock constructed along the east side of the current launch at that location. This legislation would allow patrons to dock or moor their boats temporarily, free of charge during the day, to frequent and patronize the local establishments here in Arundecoit. However, those patrons are not able to dock their boat overnight at the facility. As such, this legislation prohibits that action. Further, it allows the Arundecoit Police Department and the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and any other law enforcement agent on the water to ticket vessels that are parked overnight during these prohibited hours.
Thanks, Commish. And again, with the construction of the boat launch, in effect, this would the new State Marine Park. This just prevents overnight parking to curb that. We welcome the transient boaters, but want to make sure that we're able to ensure they're not there permanently, as it is a temporary parking. So the resolution would schedule a public hearing to take place April 20th, 2021 at 7:36 p.m. at our normal April board meeting. It will be posted in the town newspaper, as well as on the website, meeting details, as well as here at Town Hall. We are aggressively making sure that our residents know about upcoming public hearings as well as proposed legislation before the board. Any questions for the proposed legislation or the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Adopting a plan of Order 203 relating to the
Thank you. Motion to adopt? In a second? Second. Thank you. This resolution would adopt the town's police reform and reinvention plan, which was developed, reviewed, and amended pursuant to Governor's Executive Order 203. that was issued last summer, actually, I believe, last June 12th, so late spring of last year. The executive order required local governments with police departments to undertake a comprehensive review of current police force deployment strategies, policies, procedures, and practices, and develop a plan to improve such deployment strategies, policies, procedures, and practices. In doing so, the executive order charged towns with or municipalities with police departments to look both within to improve, but also seek input from the community at large. Under the leadership of Chief Laird, almost immediately after the executive order was issued, a pretty extensive public engagement took place. A number of community meetings, forums, online surveys. And we started with a base document in, I think, February, which we received from the chief. From then we had a hearing, a public hearing, which took place last week, March 23rd. Excuse me, it took place on the 16th of March. We received public input both at the hearing and through some other key stakeholders, most notably the iCare group, which did a peer review. Board members had a number of great comments as well, and I think the final product works very well off that initial product, is responsive to the community, recognizes the good work that our police force does, the service they provide to the community, recognizes the growing challenges that police departments have to deliver on that promise to protect the public in an equitable manner, but also reflects the growing chorus in our society that wants to make sure that that trust between the police department and the community it serves has integrity and remains strong. And to do that, I think we need to have exercises like this and continue to revisit plans of this nature. In the resolution, it also, I believe, Andrew, the resolution does mention that the town board will review this on an annual basis, or was that in the draft plan?
That's in this version, Mr.
Thank you. So
Supervisor.
the resolution, not in the plan, but the resolution does charge the town board with annual review of the plan to revisit. There are some components in the final plan that require town board review at the end of the year. And ultimately, our goal is to have transparency, integrity, legitimacy, and also widespread community engagement as we move forward. I want to thank Chief. Chief, I don't know if you have anything to add. No, that's all right. Just to say, I'll speak on behalf of the board. We had a number of questions relative to this, and they needed to be answered, I think, by someone who works with the law enforcement, but Chief was always responsive and getting back to us and helping us build an even better document. So I want to thank him and his leadership team for that, as well as the members of the community as well. Councilwoman Romeo had a lot of good feedback, which was incorporated in. Councilwoman Freeman, in her position as the iCare chair, worked diligently to provide good feedback. And at the end of the day, I think the board should be proud of the final document. It's this product of community engagement and really opening ourselves up to have a good plan of action moving forward. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Application for an acceptance of grant funding from the local authority of the state of New Jersey.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
In a second.
Second.
Mr. Kylie, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution would authorize you to execute all necessary paperwork associated with the Dormitory Authority grant in the amount of $25,000. This is a grant which was awarded to the town back in 2017 in response to the windstorm of March 8th. As we have moved through the grant process, we are nearing the completion of the grant questionnaire, which has certain verbiage in it that must be authorized by the board. It further authorizes myself as Commissioner of Public Works to co-sign the grant allotment, the grant disbursement agreement.
So if you look at this in a vacuum, we were awarded a grant in 2017, very grateful. It was reimbursement of costs associated with the windstorm. As normal, it's not as to be expected. Sometimes the processing of grant takes a little time. Late last week, I received notification from DASNY about them needing us to execute said grant, required paperwork that Bob just outlined. town attorney said board should authorize that. Lo and behold, we had a special board meeting in 2 days, so in order to get our money promptly, this is before you in short order. So thank you for your consideration. We want to make sure whenever I am signing something, I'm authorized to do so by the board. So there you have it. You're giving me permission to get the town our money, so thank you in advance for your yes vote. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Resolution is adopted. This continues our business for the special town board meeting for today. Our next town board meeting is here in the Broderick Meeting Room on April 13th, 4 PM. We're back in person. Also, our next regular town board meeting, April 20th, 7 PM here in the regular, here in the Broderick Meeting Room at Town Hall. We're going to make an effort, if people do want to continue to participate in some form virtually, to allow that. If it's public input, that would be through submission of written public input. We're going to ease back into this. I think we recognize that, we're not ready for large meetings. So I think April hopefully will be a tame meeting, no huge agenda items that will drive attendance, but we'll continue to monitor and make sure we're not doing anything that works against public health guidelines or best practices to navigate out of this pandemic. So with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Move.
In a second. Second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, opposed. Resolution, the meeting is now adjourned.